Thanks for tuning in. This is the AM News, the first news bulletin on the Joy News channel. Let's begin with the 120-bed capacity Sekyere Kumawu District Hospital in the Ashanti region is finally open for public use after a 10-year wait. Residents are excited they can now access healthcare at the facility after contractors M&M's Infrastructure Limited handed it over to health authorities. My colleague Oheming Tewia, however, reports all departments, beginning first with the maternity unit and administration, will start operations ahead of official commissioning.
Construction works on the 120-bed capacity Sekyere Kumawu District Hospital, a 10-year project, started in 2014. Despite the project suffering undue delays due to funding constraints and rate variations that altered construction schedules, contractors delivered a world-class standard health facility. NMS Infrastructure Limited was involved in the design, construction and equipping of the new hospital, which will serve Asante Mampong, Nsuta, Biposo, Kwamai and its environs, as well as the Afram Place, Kumawu and Efiduasi areas. Deputy Director of Health Services in charge of administration, Ashanti, Micah Asaribidiako, announced all departments at the old polyclinic will be transferred to the new facility at the end of next month.
Tomorrow, the hospital administration, the maternity wing of the polyclinic, they are moving in to start operations. And we've given ourselves up to the end of next month so that all the units at the old polyclinic would have moved in to this place.
Monday's handover ceremony marks the end of several years of waiting by residents of Sekyere Kumawu and its environs, who until now were forced to access healthcare from an improvised polyclinic. It comes as health authorities battle the maternal mortality rate, which stands at 125 per 100,000 live births. Here is an elated medical superintendent of the Kumawu Polyclinic, Dr. Alex Agbanu, who says residents have likened the new district hospital to a hotel due to its state-of-the-art installations.
We've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and I'm happy that today all of us are seeing what we are seeing. This is a wonderful environment. I mean, people come here and they wonder, is it a hospital or a hotel? Well, it's a hospital, as I said. There's a fully fledged herbal medicine unit, and then we also have you have the medical unit, pediatric unit with incubators. We have a very nice emergency with ventilatory supports. We have dental units. The list goes on and on. Wonderful equipment there and all. You go to the wards, there are monitors there to monitor patients, and a whole lot. I mean, you go to the theater, wonderful. The maternal mortality issues has not been too different from, what pertains nationally and even in the region. And because we did not have the necessary equipment, what happens is sometimes we do refer some of the cases that we don't have the capacity to manage. But I think with this new facility, with all the equipment that it has and the personnel that are coming in, so we'll be able to manage most of the cases.
Among those who have sighed a relief are the staff of the Infrastructure Directorate of the Ministry of Health. Their unrelenting efforts have paid off as the hospital is operationalized. Kwame Amponsan-Safo is head of Capital Investment and Project Management Unit, Ministry of Health.
I'm full of relief, and I believe everybody, including my director, is full of relief. Why do I say so? At some point, we're even summoned to the Chief's Palace to, answer questions as to why the project was not moving on. And so for it to have come to fruition today, it's all good news for us, and we are really happy that we have this project here. The specialness of the project starts from the planning, you understand, how you package the project. So as you know, this is a fully equipped 120-bed district hospital. And that is special in itself. I mean, you come in here, all the equipment that you need for proper healthcare are here.
Meanwhile, Director of NMS Infrastructure Limited, Stephen Bush, says his company is poised to deliver a more world-class health infrastructure projects in Ghana.
We hope to be involved continually in the health program here. The original idea was for her to be here for the long term, and that is still our commitment.
From Kumawu in the Ashanti region for Joy News, Oimenteria reporting.
From health, let's get into the agricultural sector. Food Sovereignty Ghana and the Peasant Farmers Association are urging Ghanaians to resist the government's decision to approve GMO seeds in Ghana. They cite potential health implications and economic risks. They insist that GMOs threaten the country's agriculture. The two groups want government to reverse its decision. There is more in this report by Zuleiha Nuhu and Cordial. Read to you.
Recently, the Ghana National Biosafety Authority, NBA, approved the commercial use of 14 genetically modified products, including 8 maize and 6 soybean varieties. It clarified in a statement that it has not approved the seeds of 14 genetically modified GM products to be cultivated in Ghana, but only registered 14 GM products to be imported into the country. At a press conference here in Accra, Food Sovereignty Ghana and the Peasant Farmers Association urged Ghanaians to kick against government's decision to approve GMO seeds in Ghana. They cite potential health implications and economic risk. Here is Program Officer of the Peasant Farmers Association, Bismarck Owusu-Norte. He says GMOs threaten the country's agriculture and calls for the government to reverse its decision.
The issue of GMOs is a very complex issue. Globally, there is no worldwide acceptance about the safety of GMOs. And it should be of major concern to everyone, including those of us in Ghana here. For a product that has very strict guidelines, strict regulations, a product that its existence is due to a lot of genetic modification, should be of much concern to all of us. Now, if you look at countries where GMOs were introduced, and you look at its effects on both the safety and even the incomes of farmers, it doesn't paint a good picture for GMOs and its acceptance in Ghana here.
Communications Director of Food Sovereignty Ghana, Edwin Bafo, says authorities must recognize that most Ghanaians are not fully aware of the implications of GMOs and that introducing them into our agricultural system is the last thing we need.
90-something% of people have no clue what GMO is. That means you have no right as a regulator to be coming to change their food. That means you're really more of an agent for the foreign companies. And if you look at the names on the applicants for the licenses to bring in these GM products, it's Bayer, Monsanto, Syngenta. These companies are not even allowed to grow GMOs in their own country.
But is it true that most Ghanaians are not fully aware of genetically modified food products, hence the need not to introduce it into Ghana's agricultural system? We went to the market to find out from the sellers what they know about it.
This is the Niamana what they drew is too much. Because at the end of the day, no one say we are dying because of those things. Now, if you buy even food in the market, those spices and those things, we are sick. You see some of our neighbors, they will say the person has get cancer, the person has get those things. So we beg the farmers and the science, they should try and give us natural things. Please, we beg them. Because of our health, so we want to grow, so they should help us.
Yendi a local winner. Wow, now I have to say, if you ask us why they, what I say,
as for me, I don't know about GMOs. All I suggest is that we eat our local foods. I personally prefer the natural foods because my children also consume it.
Because
now, amidst the vibrant business ongoing in the Tudu markets, the streets are strewn with rubbish. As plastic bags and wrappers dance like confetti in the market, it is clear that Sudu market hygiene is a cause for concern. But who will shoulder this responsibility for this? Mamie Sekyere Thompson was there for today's episode of Filth Exhibition.
The Tudu market is abuzz with activity. Traders are alert as hawks, seeking to divert shoppers' attention to their wares. On the other side are money changers prowling the streets, looking out for those willing to change their foreign currencies. It is simply another day to make profit. But in the midst of all the chaos, laced on every corner and in front of the stalls is the rubbish walk of fame. Bags of filth littered everywhere on the major street. On the side of the road, on the major road in the Tudu market, is this bag of trash, mainly made up of plastics, bottles, and takeaway packs. What is interesting is everybody is going past it unconcerned. The market's hygiene has become a cause for concern. But who will take responsibility?
It is the junkies that spill the rubbish on the streets. Those junkies are responsible.
The store owners are responsible for the filth in the markets. What they do is, at the end of business, they push all their rubbish out on the streets.
Even though traders indicate the presence of a few trash cans and payment to the rubbish collectors to collect the filth, these are not the solution to the major loitering in the area. People continue to litter on the streets instead of putting it in the trash cans.
Oh, and a party there of a brown Martinti and a party of a ball and near by a Riano, who's a ball and I won't have a beer and film. That's me being near use.
When they sweep, there is no dustbin to collect the rubbish. That is why it is littered all over.
Mama, dustbin in Hano. Eh, me for an answer, waste management for me, financial say guasa.
And the Beguasa, because yes, say, maybe a quaco.
Any dustbin, here dustbin. Here dustbin, any dustbin, here dustbin.
We need dustbins here to take the rubbish. If there was a bigger container collecting all the rubbish, there won't be this much filth.
Dustbin or house or pay out the best. Here dustbin Cassiano. Our quan.
Well, until city authorities enforce sanitation bylaws, the plastic bags and wrappers will continue to be scattered about like confetti, posing a threat to the environment and the health of people in the market. Until the next episode, this is Mamie Sekyere Thompson for Filth Exhibition.
That's our latest episode on a Joy News series, Filth Exhibition. Now, moving on, commercial drivers in Ashanti region say they are earnestly awaiting official communication for new transport fares. The previous week saw confusion at lorry stations as some drivers applied a 20% fare increase. But the drivers shelved the decision after GPRTU and the Road Transport Coordinating Council called on them to reverse the price adjustment. Some drivers in Kumasi say with a high cost of fuel, there should be no further delays in announcing new fares.
America currently concerned for the betu just return by 30%. And no from Friday. There's any more increment in Ama.
The Concerned Drivers Association announced some new fares the other time, but nothing happened. We don't know if they will affect the new prices. We are eagerly waiting because times are hard.
Fuel prices in the no credit. Adawa for Yajumana Yayan. Ejumano, a Moyading. It say a basse, fuel prices and also a basura. Yana, I don't demand because of say any more. Emma, yeah.
We are really suffering. There is always a banter between drivers and passengers when the new price is announced. If the government could reduce the cost of fuel, it would help.
And I'm here doing 6.5, we to fuel 4.5, because it says 2 million. Because we are there, I'm going back home. And when I'm in Kwabena Dono,
the fuel is now expensive, and I'm unable to make enough profits. I had to buy 400 cedis out of 600 cedis I made, and paid the car owner.
The University of Cape Coast has conferred an honorary doctorate award to the Omahen of Ogua traditional area, Osaberima Kwesiata II. The university says the award of Osaberima Kwesiata II is in recognition of his contribution to the growth and development of the university. There's more in this report.
The Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Sir Sam Jonah, expressed his delight in the university's decision to award Osaberima Kwesiata II.
The establishment of our university on lands that include those of the Ogua traditional area has been both beneficial and lately challenging. I commend the forbearance and the management of the challenges by Osaberima and his predecessors, which have prevented potential conflicts. And in this regard, I support the ongoing efforts led by Professor Amonu Kofi and others to address these issues collaboratively. Osaberima's love for Cape Coast, his contributions to the university, his role in promoting regional unity and peace, and his advocacy for local development make him an exemplary honoree. Indeed, this honor is long overdue.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Johnson Nyakobuampong, says the contribution of the chief has spurred the university on to greater heights and thus deserves the recognition.
The University of Cape Coast has a rich tradition of recognizing excellence and achievement and has in the past awarded honorary degrees to distinguished individuals, many of whom have contributed significantly to the advancement of society. What makes today's award ceremony significant, however, is the fact that it is the first time the university community is publicly acknowledging the contribution of our landlord, Osaberima Kwesiata, Omahen of Ogua traditional area.
Accepting the award, Osaberima Kwesiata II thanked the university for the honor done him and pledged his commitment to the university.
This problem between the university and the villages, we have already started, and I'm told the preliminary report is nearly finished. Hopefully, within the next week or so, we'll sit down and see how it will go. But I want to assure you that I will spend all the time available to me to make sure that whatever it is that is bothering the smooth teaching and the peaceful existence of this institution, I will do whatever I have to do to make sure.
Principal members of the university robed Osaberima Kwesiata II and thanked him for his unflinching service.
And now to our final story for this bulletin. Former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Dono says the relocation of the Ameri Power Plant in Awomaso in Kumasi vindicates the erstwhile John Mahama administration. The plant was part of some emergency purchase agreement signed by the erstwhile NDC government to mitigate the Dumso crisis in 2015. The NPP, then in opposition, and some experts at the time criticized government over the deal, describing it as a knee-jerk approach to resolving the power crisis. The Volta River Authority has now moved the plant to Kumasi in a bid to stabilize the erratic power supply from the Ashanti to the northern parts of the region. Reacting to the new development, Dr. Kwabena Dono said the move absorbs the NDC of all criticisms.
I don't have a problem with the new nomenclature, except that the public should be told, there should be recognition that this is the Amere plant being relocated. That is so important, so that the impression is not created in the minds of Ghanaians that this is a new plant. And for me, it absorbs some of us, especially those of us whose homes were raided because of this Amere plant in 2017. It absorbs us because one of the arguments we made when we were bringing in the plant under President John Dramani Mahama was that because of its modular nature, it could be moved from place to place in the country to meet emerging needs in particular localities. And so this is the fulfillment of what we had envisaged. That yes, because of the modular nature, there are 10 units, each with 25 megawatt capacity. We can move them around to meet national demand. And let's also be fair, the decision to have generation in the central corridor is not an MPP decision. It's been something that has been on the drawing board, just as there's the need for another box supply point.
And that's it for the AM News. Up next is the news review. Dr. Wizon Kofi Dogbe joins us for the news review. Join us.